Always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. You just heard Folsom Prison Blues, one of Johnny Cash's most popular songs.
This isn't the only song whose lyrics discuss murder. There's Goodbye Earl by the Chicks, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, Jenny Was a Friend of Mine by The Killers, Crooked Teeth by Zach Bryan, and many more.
Now let's take a listen to the first verse of Slatty by Young Stoner Life. I killed a man in front of his mama. This bar was sung by Jeffery Williams, better known as Young Thug. The content of his lyrics closely parallel what Johnny Cash sings in Folsom Prison Blues. I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. However, there's one key difference regarding how these lyrics have been perceived and manipulated.
The lyric, I killed his man in front of his mama, is being used in court against Young Thug. This lyric and many others were admitted as official evidence. The same was done with another hip-hop artist and a close associate and friend of Young Thug, named Sergio Giovanni Kitchens, better known as Gunna.
So, what sets apart the lyrics of Young Thug and Gunna from those of Johnny Cash, Queen, and The Killers? Why are the lyrics of Young Thug and Gunna being used as official evidence in court, but not those of the other artists?
Historically, the creative expression of black artists has been targeted by the U.S. court system. Artists like Mac, Bobby Shmurda, and Fetty Wap have all had their lyrics used against them in court. However, Young Thug's case has larger implications. Thug is at the center of a state-level RICO case, and prosecutors argue that his influence in decision-making has had far-reaching consequences in Atlanta.
Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis argues that if rappers are going to confess to their crimes in their rap lyrics, she is going to take them literally and use them in court.
My number one focus is targeting gangs.
And many agree with her judgment. Others, like Hank Johnson and Jamal Bowman, believe that rappers deserve full creative freedom in their expression and that courts should consider the potential for hyperbole and metaphor. This reasoning led to the two Democratic congressmen introducing the Rap Act, a bill meant to protect artists from wrongful use of their lyrics in court.
Hip-hop, a lot of it is metaphor, similes, and a lot of things, it's representation. It's not real. It's not, it's fiction.
In this video essay, we will explore the evolving case of Young Thug and Gunna. We will discuss how and why their lyrics are being used against them in court, and how the trial has gotten to where it is today. Welcome to our discussion of hip-hop and the law.
They say you're poor because you're black, right to your face. They say where you live, you never be able to own that place. My father said you could change it all with your performance. And by the way, your life is a VV Stone charm.
Over the last decade, Young Thug has become one of the most prominent rappers of his generation. On top of being a fashion icon and a world-renowned superstar, he has raked in numerous hit songs and albums, and has invested into his community by recruiting up-and-coming rappers to his record label Young Stoner Life, also known as YSL. But according to police, he has been simultaneously orchestrating a violent criminal enterprise in the form of a gang, Young Slime Life, conveniently also shortened to YSL.
Take this shit to motherfucking trial. Take this shit to motherfucking trial, yeah. Slime green, AP look like herpes on
Let's take it back to the beginning. Young Thug was born as Jeffery Williams on August 16, 1991. He was the 10th of 11 kids in his family, and they lived in Section 8 of Atlanta, which is known for being one of the poorest and most violent areas of the city.
Young Thug didn't make it through high school, and he became a dad at 17 years old. But he definitely had aspirations for himself. He was a shy kid at work and school before he started rapping.
My nigga, Lil Jeff say he the king of white swagging, right? Stand on one time, let these folks see what you doing now. You check him out.
But everything changed for Thug when he was signed onto Gucci Mane's 1017 Brick Squad Records, Asylum Records, and Atlantic Records.
He released his first album, I Came From Nothing Too, in 2011. His following really started to grow in 2013, shortly after releasing his mixtape 1017 Thug. Since then, he has released numerous albums that have turned him into a rap superstar.
Young Thug has also made big ripples in the fashion world. His outfit choices have been a huge point of conversation because he often subverts gender norms. For example, on the cover of his album titled Jeffery, Thug is seen wearing a purple full-length dress designed by Alessandro Trincone.
Before his arrest in 2020, Thug had participated in several fashion shows and was generally making a name for himself in fashion, quite the cherry on top of his already stacked music career. After Young Thug's arrest, the two YSLs, Young Stoner Life, the record label, and Young Slime Life, the gang, started to be considered synonymous. The trial was sparked by the 2015 killing of Donovan Thomas, a member of the Bloods gang, whose killing is claimed to have been the catalyst of a gang war in Atlanta.
Allegedly, Young Thug helped arrange and orchestrate the killing. In the trial, he is characterized as the leader of YSL, King Slime.
He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's King Slime. He's pulling the shots.
After being arrested and spending 567 days in jail, Young Thug's trial began on November 27, 2023. An
88-page indictment
describes YSL as a criminal street gang that has allegedly participated in 182 instances of gang activity and criminal conspiracies. Initially, Thug was charged with 27 other associates, but only 5 are left.
The evidence being used includes song lyrics, social media posts, and even clothing and accessories. These charges have been brought on by Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis following a 60% increase in violent crime in the county.
There seemed to be a possibility for Young Thug to get out on bond, but at this point he has already been denied bond 3 times. Another major disturbance has been jury selection, since the trial is very high profile and is going to be quite lengthy. The court has gone through more than 2,000 potential jurors, and the jury was officially selected on November 1st.
On top of all that, the trial proceedings has been pushed back numerous times. One instance was due to a defendant being stabbed in jail, which paused the trial from December 2023 into January 2024.
Shorty super stubby, suck at Berkey out that deep. Live back came with curtains and I still ain't got it tint. Got some slimy and shady that ain't wavy like my clip. High-end alterations did that European shit.
Sergio Giovanni Kitchens has gone by many names in his career. Young Gunna, Wanna, Gunna, but most famously, Gunna. Some may also consider him Young Thug's protege, but Young Thug would rather refer to him as his brother. His story has truly been one of rags to riches, from knowing only struggle to being one of the biggest rappers in the game.
Gunna was born in College Park, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta in June of 1993. Gunna was on the streets from a young age and unfortunately lost one of his 4 brothers to a shooting.
Gunna was interested in music from an early age. One of his friends had a home studio where he spent a lot of his time creating music. Some of his musical influences include T.I., Outkast, Cam'ron, Chingy, and Jim Jones.
After receiving drug charges in 2011 and dropping out of college, Gunna released his first mixtape, Hard Body, under the name Young Gunna. He eventually was able to meet Young Thug and was featured on a song called Floyd Mayweather, along with Gucci Mane in Young Thug's album Jeffery. Gunna dropped his debut mixtape, Drip Season, through YSL Records, which was later followed by Drip Season 2 and 3.
He would go on to drop some popular singles, such as Drip Too Hard with Lil Baby and One Call. He was also featured in some popular songs, such as Hot by Young Thug and Yosemite by Travis Scott. He released his first studio album entitled Drip or Drown 2 in 2019. Since then, he has released many more, including Wanna, DS Forever, and A Gift and a Curse, while also being included in the YSL album Slime Language 2.
Gunna was charged alongside Young Thug with conspiracy to violate Georgia's RICO Act. The Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act was passed by Congress in 1970 with the intention of combating organized crime. Essentially, it lets prosecutors formulate a singular case against criminal enterprises using a string of crimes committed over time.
There are 28 defendants, including Gunna and Thug, indicted in this RICO case, which contains 56 counts related to gang activity and racketeering. Ultimately, Gunna was charged with 1 count of racketeering for drug possession and receiving stolen property. The indictment states that he furthered the conspiracy of the YSL gang.
After being denied bail multiple times in July of 2022, Gunna accepted the Alfred plea deal 6 months later. This Alfred plea is a guilty plea where the defendant asserts innocence but accepts the imposition of a sentence, essentially claiming innocence while at the same time acknowledging that prosecutors could possibly convict them at trial with the evidence at hand.
Gunna states that he does not consider YSL a gang, but describes them as a group of people from Metro Atlanta who had common interests and artistic aspirations.
Following his guilty plea, Gunna was sentenced to 5 years in prison. However, his sentence was commuted to time served since he had already been in jail for a year with an additional 500 hours of community service. Most of these hours, Gunna and his lawyer states, will be dedicated to educating young men and women about the consequences of gangs and violence. Gunna walked free on December 14th, 2022.
Following Gunna's release, many people have questioned whether or not he snitched. He claims that he did not make any statements or cooperate, and denies the allegations from the public that he is a snitch.
Let's talk about snitching in hip-hop. Snitching, if you're unfamiliar with the term, refers to telling some sort of authority about infractions others may have committed, essentially being a tattletale. Snitching has been a long point of contention within the hip-hop community, stemming from the Stop Snitching movement in the mid-2000s. The idea behind the Stop Snitching movement was to protect against the community-wrenching effects of the racist criminal justice system.
Law professor Brett D. Asbury argues in Same Script, Different Cast, Stop Snitching, Law and Hip-Hop, that hip-hop and the Stop Snitching movement share more similarities than one may expect. Both grew from marginalized black communities. Furthermore, Asbury argues that not snitching is a show of resistance to authorities and loyalty to the community.
People who snitch are often shunned, which brings us back to Thug and Gunna. Because Gunna was released and Thug was held, the hip-hop community started to wonder if Gunna had snitched to authorities to lessen his sentence. Several of Gunna's peers, including one of his earliest collaborators, Lil Baby, have unfollowed him, encouraging the community to shun him.
There is no way to definitively know if the reason Gunna was released was because he snitched. So, is Gunna a snitch? Was he released earlier than Thug for some other reason? We will have to leave that up to you. This brings us to the current state of the trial.
6 months after his release, Gunna dropped his album A Gift and a Curse, where he rejected the snitching allegations and provided more insight about his time in jail. In the song Bread and Butter, Gunna says,
and in I Was Just Thinking, a message directly to Young Thug.
You know my mind, you don't watch that nigga, bro. No, you hear the lies, it's your little brother my fault. Yeah, I had copped out, but don't let them say I told.
Gunna's been laying low, but has made it clear that he holds love for Young Thug and had to make hard decisions encouraged by his legal team to escape his situation.
The latest major update about Gunna is that he has been removed from the state's witness list and will no longer take the stand in the YSL trial. Thug is still on trial, and it has been 705 days at the time of this recording since May 9th of 2022, when he was first arrested. The trial is streaming on YouTube and is free for anyone to watch, should you be inclined to follow along.
The current state of this trial poses questions about future cases of similar nature and how rap lyrics can and will be used in trial. Thug, Fetty Wap, and Mac aren't the end of it. Hundreds of cases have used rap lyrics as evidence.
As Zoe Guy stated in her Vulture article, Boosie, Bobby Shmurda, Draco the Ruler, and 6ix9ine's lyrics have all been deployed in court as evidence against them. Boosie and Draco the Ruler were acquitted, though the others were not. Thug's case is the highest profile yet that has seen lyrics used as official court evidence. The trial is expected to last through much of 2024.
With Young Thug still in jail, this trial comes with heavy potential legal implications. The court system permitting the usage of lyrics in trial brings up numerous questions about what the future holds for hip-hop.
Will rappers have to start censoring their music? How do we discern between factual accounts and artistic liberties within songs? Where will the line be drawn? The answers to these questions in the YSL case will undoubtedly shape the intersection of music and law.
All we can ask of you is to keep your eyes peeled for updates and results surrounding this case. Stay in the know. Stay tuned and remain engaged in this evolving conversation. Thank you for listening.
I'm making people I'm bringing pureness into the world. My heart really in the right spot, the right place. It's no matter how my words come out, nigga, you gonna be able to understand. Nigga, his heart is in the right place. Why wouldn't I win? You let this nigga win. Why wouldn't I win?
Do not hate me, hate the game, baby. 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 Yeah. Do not hate me, hate the game, baby. Yeah.